Hey guys, Russ Armstrong here. This is actually a re-recording of the MOBE Elite Earners webinar that I presented back on May 22nd, I believe that was the evening. It was a Tuesday. It was one of the normal webinar evenings. And when I presented, the reason I had to re-record this is when I presented, that was the first time I have ever actually been in control of the GoToWebinar. I've been on several webinars, but as a guest speaker, and so someone else was actually doing the controls of the GoToWebinar. And one of the things that, for those of you who were on the webinar, you may have noticed a little window popped up, and it was something about audio, but I got nervous because it popped up on the screen. I wanted to get rid of it because I knew I was recording. And what I inadvertently did is I turned off the audio portion to my Camtasia. So during the webinar, everybody heard me fine for the hour-long webinar, but what I discovered when I went now to edit the video and get it over to Athar was I only had about 10 minutes of audio and then silence. So hence why I'm redoing this. Well, then of course what happened was I was in the process when I did the webinar, my voice was a little scratchy, and since then I basically have been losing my voice daily, so I'm trying to squeeze this webinar out before my voice is completely gone. So I apologize ahead of time for the audio on this, but hopefully everybody can understand. And again, after this is done, if you rewatch it and you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to message me on Facebook or on Skype and ask away, and I'll do what I can to answer your questions. So we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, basically what this webinar is about, or this video is about, is joint venturing. We've had, I think it's 5 or 6 speakers now for the MOBE Elite Earners, and I really felt honored that they asked me to speak. But I went through and I re-listened to everyone's presentations, and phenomenal presentations. You have to make sure that you go back and listen to them again, or listen to them for the first time if you haven't. They are some really golden nuggets in there of information. But I wanted to do a webinar of something that people had not touched on yet. And so Brian actually helped me come up with the, Brian Price helped me come up with the idea of joint venturing, because I actually had done a program with a group of people, and we created a product through a joint venture. So that is what this webinar is on tonight, is joint ventures. So I hope you get some good information out of it. But first of all, what I'm going to do is kind of tell you a little bit about myself, as to who I am. Some of you may know me from some of the live events that I've gone to, and others may not, or maybe you just know me from Facebook on Matt's groups. But a little bit about me. I actually am a full-time lieutenant in the fire service. I have been working for the fire service for 31 years now, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm approaching retirement, and I wanted to kind of establish another business for myself that my pension will do me very well in retirement, but I just decided, very well isn't good enough. I wanted to be able to retire and really enjoy life, not be extravagant, but really enjoy life and be able to travel like I've always wanted to, be able to help my 3 children out. I've got 1 in college and 2 finishing high school. So, I want to be able to help them out more than currently I can. So about a year ago is when I started into the internet world. I have owned 3 different brick and mortar businesses over that 31 years. I've been very successful with them, but nothing that would, let me retire early. So I like to work. That's one of my key things, is I work hard. And so, I like being able to do more than one thing at once. I guess a multitasker, except for when I cut audio out of the video that I'm making. I actually was involved in an MLM back in the early 90s. A company that some of you may know is called Melaleuca. Fantastic products. But my wife and I, when we got involved in it in the early 90s, we just kind of never really went anywhere as a business with it. We tried, but it was a lot more involved. And the practice of hounding your neighbors, friends, business associates, family. I literally became the black sheep of the family because people wouldn't answer my phone calls because I was always trying to get them hooked on Melaleuca. So we were in it for about maybe 2-3 years, kept the products going, but never really, again, did anything as a business. Back in March of 2012, I actually got back into Melaleuca, and the story behind that was my brother, who lives in the neighboring state in Idaho, he gave me a call, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to come down for the weekend, and I want to talk to you about some stuff." And of course, I'm like, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" And he goes, "Oh, you'll like this." And he knew I'm always looking for new business opportunities and stuff. And so I'm like, "All right, well, fine, you can come visit, no problem." So he comes down, and we go down into the TV room, and he sets up his computer to the big screen TV, and he starts giving this presentation. And about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes into it, I stopped him and I said, "Are you talking about Melaleuca?" And he was floored. He did not even realize that I knew anything about it. And so my wife and I talked it over again, and obviously Melaleuca has not really changed their indoctrination process by getting people into rooms and then selling them on it versus letting them know up front what it is. But in March 2012, with my brother's persistence, we did join Melaleuca again. And one of the, two reasons why I joined it. One, again, fantastic products. I've always loved their products. But two, about a year before that, my wife and I really started searching into online marketing. We first looked into drop shipping, where you basically set up websites and you're dealing with manufacturers and you have items that are drop shipped, so you're not having to store them yourself. We looked into like websites, having websites like Amazon, which I actually do have an Amazon website. So we started really kind of researching about a year before. So in 2011, I guess I would say I would started. But one of the key things that I had discovered through all this research that I did is that online marketing is a way to tap a resource of people that want to talk to you. It's not a cold phone call. It's not, these are people that are clicking on your site, on your banner ad, etc., are wanting information. They're saying, "Hey, please give me more information." So the reason we joined Melaleuca is I thought, well, with all the research we've already done, maybe there's a way we can promote this but not have to go and hound everybody. We could actually have people come to us. And so we did some more research. We'd already joined Melaleuca. And about mid-March, one of the items I had come across was MLSP. And some of you may know what that is. It's My Lead System Pro. It's a continuity type program. But what I discovered when I joined it, and I was in it for a few months, what I discovered is it was, to me, it was all over the charts. It was everywhere. I mean, it was, it had a lot of good information, but the information came from so many different sources. And I hate to say is a lot of the information that comes to you, they also want to sell you something. And so it just got almost confusing to me, just all the different avenues you could go to with My Lead System Pro. But one of the things that did come out of it, and I'm very thankful for, is the person that actually I went through to join My Lead System Pro, Justin Tillman, also was a MOBE member. And so he had posted on one of his blog pages an ad for Matt, and it was for the MOBE Inner Circle. So April 1st, I thought I'd play a joke on myself, and I joined another continuity program called Inner Circle. And I really wasn't sure, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna really be diligent on this. I'm gonna give it a week at least, and I'm just gonna, work my tail off and study everything I can and see what this program is all about. The thing I found out about it is, one, in their archive of webinars and so on, no one tries to sell you anything. All the products are MOBE products, which is fantastic. It's all concentrated on one effort versus being scattered to the wind like MLSP. And again, nothing against MLSP. It's just, it wasn't focused enough for me. So again, I had joined MOBE Inner Circle, really dove in, and within a week's time, I was very, very impressed with it. And that allowed me then to, I dropped MLSP. I kept kind of consuming more and more information on MOBE. And then all of a sudden, Matt started advertising, because I was now on his email list. And I started getting emails, and he was talking about his first live event. Matt had done at that time a few different live events, but as a guest speaker, not his own event. And so he decided, in all of his emails, he's telling us all about this, that he decided, to jump in, and that he really needed to take that next step and do his own event. And so he planned an event called Online Income Revolution, or OIR. It was based in San Diego. And so I went ahead and bought a ticket for that. I also, I was from the San Diego area, so I really wanted to go back and kind of look at the place. I hadn't been there at that point in like 13, 14 years. And so it was a perfect opportunity. I had time off of work through my shifts, and I mean, it just kind of, everything aligned the way it should, which kind of told me, you got to do this. And I will tell you, I know, currently Matt is promoting his home business summit in Long Beach, but he now has done several live events. I just came back from Fiji not too long ago, where as a member of his elite group, the Platinum Mastermind group, we were kind of wined and dined for a week in Fiji. We were given fantastic information from some of the best presenters, I think, in the industry and even out of the industry. Basically, things that we were given on that were things that, could help take our businesses definitely to the next level. But the thing I want to get across here is, if you have not been to a live event, you got to get yourself there. The momentum, the energy, etc., that goes on, the networking that occurs on live events is next to none. You cannot beat it. You can't get that enthusiasm out of a webinar such as mine, but you definitely got to get to a live event. That's how you meet the people. You get to meet these presenters live in person. You can get sometimes some one-on-one time with them. It's a great avenue for information. As I said, I became a Platinum Mastermind member in June of 2012, along with a licensee and a Diamond member, all basically at the same time. So when I jumped in into the deep end of the pool. And I believe it was late summer when we started receiving some emails, some notices from Matt, and it was in regards to futuristic marketing. Matt was or is an affiliate for Jonathan Budd, and Jonathan was one of the key people behind futuristic marketing. And so Matt decided, because I guess the grand prize was pretty hefty, and Matt really wanted it. And so what Matt decided to do was actually, he basically created a joint venture with all of his affiliates. What he did is he sweetened the deal. If we bought basically futuristic marketing through Matt's link, we could team up with him, and his bonuses were next to none. I mean, just, they were phenomenal. Everything that he offered us in a bonus Plus, we ended up getting a commission if we got other people to buy. Obviously, as affiliates of Matt, we got commissions off of the futuristic marketing. So it was a win-win for everyone. He called himself Matt's Underdogs. And we were a fairly large group that got together and worked our tails off to try to win Matt, and he was very upfront with it. He said that, this is the grand prize. This is what I would be getting, but I need your help, and this is how I'm going to sweeten the deal for you. So we worked really hard, and I think at the last moment he ended up getting second place. He did not get the first. The main competitor kind of squeezed him out at the last minute. So we all kind of felt robbed, but it was a great experience, and it was great to get that kind of a group of people together, all for a common goal. So one of the things with futuristic marketing, for those of you that may not have had that, was it was all based on it's a program that works with Facebook, but it was based as a competition. So what I think their main focus on futuristic marketing was to get people out of their comfort zone. We all get complacent with what works for us, and we never want to push the envelope. And that, if you're ever going to take your business to a next level, you have to push the envelope. Things may be working for you right now, and that's great. Keep going with them. But you also constantly have to be looking in different directions. You have to be looking at pushing that envelope, looking at what other people are doing, looking towards the future if you really want to grow your business. And so that's what futuristic marketing, I believe, was all about. What we ended up doing is in the competition, there was a Facebook group, and we all scrambled and formed teams. And there were some pretty heavy hitters that were playing in this competition. But for whatever reason, it was myself and 6 others that joined forces. We were all fairly new to the internet market. I think the most experienced one had a couple years experience, and that's it, but nothing really big. Just had a lot of knowledge in it, but again, not much success with it. And so we formed a team, and one of the main things that came out of this is in the competition, nearing the end of it, I think we were probably about, maybe this was a weekly competition. In other words, they gave us assignments, and you had like a week, sometimes 2 weeks to finish it. But I believe there was like 8 assignments that they gave, and one of the last assignments that they gave you is you had to create a product. And most teams, from what I understand, created fictitious products. They kind of mimicked something that was already out there, and so they just kind of recreated something that they could. I look at it as a fictitious product. You can make up your own numbers. You can do whatever you want to with it. Well, our team decided that why make something fictitious? If we have learned to work really well together, we've learned to complement each other, meaning that each of us came to the table with our own strengths. Why not create a real product that we could all benefit from? So at that point, the light bulb went off with everyone, and we said, well, shoot, let's just joint venture. We're already doing it. Let's go ahead and just create a real product. So we did a lot of brainstorming and so on. We ended up coming up with a product named Ka-Chow Marketing. It is still an active product. We had a team of, and you may recognize some of these names: Helen Avery, Leah Mullis, Bobby Dubay, Danny LaRue, Catherine Wood Johnson, and then of course I was in it. And we had decided that we needed to kind of brainstorm. We came up with a name, we came up with a concept, but we kept brainstorming. What do we really want to do? Do we want to create an app? Do we want to create a tool or something? What is it that we really need to do? And so through our brainstorming session, we kind of all brought to the surface that one of our biggest things, and some of us were newer to the industry than others, but one of the biggest things that was a common denominator for us all is we all sat back and said, boy, I wish someone had taught me shortcuts, because, I've been kind of floundering around for months now learning this and learning that, versus if someone just said, hey, you don't need to worry about that. You need to get these specific things in place. You need to build a foundation for your business before you start promoting anything. You got to have a good solid base. And with that base, you can promote anything. You can get your business up and running and moving. And so since that was kind of the common discussion from everyone, we decided to go ahead and create a program really for newer people. But it was broken up into 6 modules, and then it came with a 7th module that really broke apart how to get a business like this up and running, from domains to hosting to autoresponders to your follow-up emails to branding, so that you could brand yourself, to creating Facebook fan pages, to looking for affiliate offers, to creating your own product, etc. We just kind of went through all the paces and broke it up into modules. And each one of us brought a piece of us to this product. We all had our strengths in specific areas, and so we tasked ourselves with those areas, and it worked out fantastic because, again, there were some with strengths in more than one area, but it allowed us all to contribute. It was basically all on an equal playing field. And the neat thing about it too is, as a team, and since we had already been working as a team through these competitions and we were under a lot of pressure to finish deadlines and so on, we continued with that. We were able to hold ourselves accountable. We were able to critique each other's work and take it the way it was supposed to be meant. And so we complemented each other. So again, our team, when we joint ventured, we worked, we broke down the components of the programs. We all looked at our strength, and then we decided what components we were going to tackle. And we put deadlines on it. And that's a key thing. If you're going to joint venture, well, if you're even going to do anything, if you've ever worked with a coach, you know that those coaches put you under a timeline. They put you under, and a coach that doesn't push you is not helping you. You need to be pushed because, again, as I said earlier, you get complacent, you get comfortable, and it's, you know what, I can do that tomorrow. I really don't need to do that. My biggest problem in life is I'm a huge procrastinator, which seems kind of odd considering the main job that I have. I deal with emergencies and I respond quickly, but the rest of my life I'm a procrastinator. And so I constantly need someone to, hold the gun to me and get me moving. And I've been trying to do more and more self-help on learning how to create my own timelines and so on, to hold myself accountable. And so I've developed some ways, but I'm still working through all those situations. Sometimes I don't listen to myself, but you need to have someone holding you accountable. The neat thing about working as a team is we all held each other again accountable. We deadlines and we looked at our quality of work. We all held to the same standard. We didn't cheap on anything. We made sure that if someone, we would kind of, as we made our videos, there were 6 modules plus a bonus module, and within that there was some that had like 3 videos, and there were some modules that had up to 5 videos in it. And so what we would do is we'd finish a video, we'd kind of do it in a PowerPoint, or we'd do it as a screen capture if we were showing someone how to install Optimize Press, something like that. And then we would share the video with each other, so that, and we kind of approached it as if I was brand new, would I understand what you're doing? And so that was great because it again, it allowed us to do the quality of work so that a beginning person would understand how to do a specific item. So we kept working on that, and the nice thing about it also is we had a weekly mastermind Skype group, and we would be on there anywhere from an hour, sometimes up to 3 hours. But I think the best thing about the whole entire joint venture that I did was we were able to create lasting relationships with each other. We still talk to each other today, not as much. We don't do it weekly like we did when we created the program, but some of us stay in more contact with others. But we basically created extended families. I mean, each one of us knows the other's families, etc. I've met up with some of these people in some of the live events that I've been to since our product was formed. And it is just great to constantly stay in touch with these people. And I think we're working towards, seeing what else we can create. We also, to make this work, we created a shared filing system, which I believe we used Dropbox, which worked out really well. There's the cloud, there's all sorts of different things, but that worked really well because we were able to share documents much faster than trying to email to each other, etc. We were able to just change a document, load it, and then have everybody take a look at it, or our PowerPoints that we would make, people could look at them and critique them, etc. Again, we really complemented each other, and in my opinion, we made a hell of a program. I was thoroughly impressed with what we were able to accomplish, and I was very proud of what we were able to accomplish. And you know what? When it comes to being able to do things like what I'm doing right here by talking to other people, it's that accomplishment that I created a program or a product that gives me the confidence to talk to people. I'm not, a mega earner with Matt's products. I mainly because I do this work part-time, although I think I spend probably a good 30 hours a week on it on top of my normal shifts. But I have some confidence because, again, I've created a program. I have some background in it, and it's something that's done fairly well for us, which is great. And I'm constantly learning, and I would recommend that. You guys constantly want to be reviewing videos like this. You want to always be looking to and turning to the people that are the high or kind of the elite affiliates of Matt's. They're always willing to share secrets and tricks with you as to how they do what they do. So don't ever hesitate to message them and just kind of ask why. How did this work? Or, do you have any suggestions or something like that? Don't try to reinvent the wheel. I'm constantly getting a hold of these people and sharing ideas with them or asking them for input on some of my ideas, and it works out really well. The problem, or I shouldn't say that, I should say it as the first hiccup in our whole process of creating this program and so on, and sorry to say I was the one that threw the hiccup in there, is we were almost complete with our program or our product, and all of a sudden I asked that question that none of us asked in the beginning, since we were doing a real product, was how are we going to share the profits on this? And boy, that took everybody for a loop. We had not one of us, we were so excited about creating this product and creating the sales funnel and creating, everything, every component we need to do with it. We never thought, how are we going to actually implement this? So that kind of took us, back a peg, that we needed to sit down and now figure this out. So all of a sudden our Skype calls, increased immensely on trying to figure out how we're going to do this next. So what we had decided through our conversations is that since this was our first, I think everybody in the group, this was their first JV that we had ever done, we decided to go ahead and break things down in the easiest way we could. We didn't want anything super elaborate. We did discuss, what if we form an LLC? What if we, some sort of corporation or company or whatever. But then, and that was a great idea, but then all of a sudden, the next question came out, well, where do we do it? Because one of us lives in Oregon, two of us live in Washington State, Two lived in the group, or two of them live in Canada. One lives in Australia. So obviously we have now an internationally based company. How do we handle taxes, corporate laws, and so on? So, again, we were back to square one. How would we do that? So what we ended up deciding to do, since we all contributed 100% into this company by doing all of our own modules and then combining everything together so it flowed properly, we decided to kind of duplicate that same model. But what we ended up doing, because we had already created landing pages, we had created a sales video, we had started creating our email series, etc. And we created this whole funnel, this whole sales funnel, that the best and easiest way to do this was to turn around and duplicate everything, or actually it would be, multiply it times the number of people in the group. So once we had the whole program together, then we just made copies of it, and basically each one of us was able to put it on our own sites, on our own domains, so that we had control and access to it. If we needed to tweak it in any way, we could. If we needed to change our sales video, if we decided we wanted to break the program apart, give it as a bonus or anything like that, the way we ended up splitting this apart, or duplicating the process with everyone, is it enabled us to promote it any way we wanted to. It became our program, even though all of the contributions of everyone else was on our program. Everybody had the same program. So it actually worked very well for us. That what it enabled it to do, because it was duplicated on all of our sites, is each sales funnel was duplicated, which means then also the buy now buttons, everything like that, we can put our own payment accounts on PayPal or whatever account that particular person was using. And that way then, if someone purchased a program, this program from us, from our landing page or within our sales funnel, it has our own accounts attached to it, and then we're receiving the money. This also allowed us to promote it any way we wanted to, and we could, we didn't need to have accountability, meaning, the program has earned this much money, now we got to divide it up. We were our own accounting, because again, it came into our own accounts for each sale. What this also enabled us to do is that if we could share our program at our own pace. Some of us were a little bit more aggressive on promoting it, and others wanted to use it as a tool. They wanted to be able to use it because, again, it was broken down into our own program. They wanted to be able to use it as a bonus, like Carolina had said in her webinar. Bonuses, it's the key sometimes to getting that sale or getting that person to opt in, etc. Those bonuses are what people are looking for. Unfortunately, they're not just looking for just the programs. They're looking for the other free stuff that comes with it. And so sometimes you have to sweeten that deal. The way we divided this up in our joint venture is that allowed us to do that. I could take this 6 or 7 module program and I could break up and sell each module independently. I could sell it all as a whole. I could give it away. I could, whatever needed to be done. So, that just made it beneficial for all of us. The nice thing about it, because again, it's on our own pace, is we didn't also have to end up with, a possible result of, 2-3 people in the group really promoting this well, and their businesses, or if we made it one business, this business bringing in all this money, but then having to divide that up amongst the people that really aren't promoting it. So yes, we all put 100%. We had equal partnership in creating the program. This just made it a perfect fit for us to be able to promote the program any way we wanted to. and we all benefit from it. So it, again, give it as a bonus, and you can break it down in components, do whatever you want to with it, which, I've done all of that with this program. And I don't know if I mentioned or not, we also had, again, I call it a teaser video. We had a sales video, which kind of teases you about the 7 modules in this program. But that's it. That's just designed to get you hooked and want to find out more. We also had an ebook built into our funnel, and it's a PDF format that gave you each one of the modules broken down, and it gave you more information, but not 100%. In other words, you couldn't just do everything strictly off. Now, if you were fairly savvy with internet marketing, or if you were technologically adept or adaptive, that you could figure this out, the ebook probably would work really well for you. But obviously, with anything, we want to promote the program. And so even with the ebook, we tease about the program itself and the benefits of having the full program, everybody on video showing their screen of how to do something, to where not only do you get to hear about how to do it, but you're actually watching the person on the screen. They're sharing their screen and they're showing you how to do this particular task. I know I learned really well that way. I like to watch people do it, and then I can mimic that. So it worked out really well. A few of us actually even built into the sales funnel that we offer the one-on-one coaching. So not only do we have a program, let's see, the video obviously is free. Ebook, I think, was based at $7, and then the program itself was $197. But we then offered some one-on-one coaching. So not only could you get the program and go through step by step, but if you were still having difficulties, or if you really needed someone to hold your hand through it, we offered one-on-one coaching. Not all of us did, but some of us did. We added that to our sales funnel. So again, that was the benefit of breaking this apart into all of our individual domains or sites, because then we could do this. We could add and subtract to it any day that we wanted to. We also created a Facebook group called Infinity Marketing Empire, and there has been some talks. We've again, stay in contact with each other, but we have also been discussing getting together and starting to come up with some new ideas of what can be our next project, whether it's something we can add to this sales funnel as an upsale or a next level, or if we go in a different direction or whatever. We're not sure. We're just kind of toying with the idea and just promoting our program as it is right now, and kind of getting more ideas. And as we all advance, I think we will definitely come up with, I'm hoping, more than just one more program. I'm hoping we'll keep going with this. So the benefits to joint venturing are, again, the lasting relationship, the network capabilities that you end up getting, the knowledge that you end up getting, because again, everybody brought their strengths to this program. So there were things that I learned while creating this, while watching other people's videos, which was really nice. And they said the same thing about some of the stuff that I had inputted in there. So it works out really well. You all come out really well rounded and much more knowledgeable. And as we came out a lot happier. And we made a very equitable system that we alleviated a lot of problems that we could have potentially had. We just made it as simple as humanly possible. So it's really good. It worked out really well for us, and like I said, continued success with it. The other thing too about joint ventures is sharing that workload. Sharing the profits. You may create a joint venture with someone that is more technically advanced than you are. I'm not the most technical advanced person, and some of this stuff today I have to go back and watch some of the videos within our own program just to remember how to do stuff, because it's not something I do every day. So it's always good to bring those people together with their strengths. But you have to share that workload too. Whether it's just something that someone is supplying the bankroll and someone else is doing the work on it, you want to always keep, you want to be able to figure out how you're going to share profits, make it an equitable way to keep your team alive and go on to create bigger and better things. I have heard of some joint ventures that did not end really well, and you want to be careful of that. I mean, it's kind of a scary thing. You want to make sure that you have yourself protected and so on. But one of the key things is, as you do a joint venture and as you get recognition on it, let's say you do a joint venture, as Matt suggested, for a competition. Get a bunch of affiliate marketers together, and like Matt did with Matt's Underdogs, he created a joint venture on a grand scale. He had a lot of people. I guess he's got, well, I don't know what the number is now, but back then I think it was like 1,400 affiliates. You put that many people together. Now, not everyone was doing it, but you put a lot of those people together. That's a big team. They're all working for a common goal. They're all putting in their 100% work effort into it, and so it worked out really well. Same as what we did. You have to be able to make it equitable. Or what will end up happening in the long run is you're going to create a situation. And I've seen it happen, and I truly don't ever want to go that direction, because there are things that can get ugly really fast. So when you create these whether it be a competition and you rank up in the top 10, whether it be a program that you create, webinar series, etc., what you do also is you create credibility in this marketplace. Like I said, as an earner, I'd consider myself middle of the road. I mean, I've earned enough to pay the programs back that I needed to. And so that's a success for me. But I'm also not one of those people that's standing there with the $30,000, $80,000 checks either. I kind of plug along at this. But the one thing I do have, even though I'm an affiliate marketer, is I have created a program also with a team of people, very good people. So that gives me some credibility. One of the things that we discovered today, and I never even realized that because I never looked for it before, is my wife and I Googled Ka-Chow marketing, and we come up right up front. We did that in Bing. We did that in YouTube because we had a couple videos on there. We did that in UVO, I guess is what it's called, new one out there. And so we were right there, which was kind of cool. Actually, my link was first, which I really thought was cool. So there again, you're building that credibility in the marketplace. And as long as you're honest to people and you create a good product and you put your heart and soul into it, you're going to go well, and you're going to go very far in this industry. Just like Matt has. I've dealt with a lot of other marketers in this industry, and I've met some that are in it for the money. And not to say that none of us are in it for the money, but I think the people that I have met, or the majority of the people I have met through MOBE, are not only in it for the money, but they're in it to help other people. And definitely that is Matt. He is constantly, even at the live events, he constantly tells us that if it was not for us, meaning the affiliates, he would not be successful. Yes, he's created, I think it's up to 37 products now that he has formed himself and made into products, but it's the affiliate marketers that makes him successful. And it's us believing in him that make him successful, and in turn, he helps make us successful. So that's his main goal, is by making us successful, he's successful. So we want to constantly keep that momentum going. So kind of to wrap it up a little bit here, the thing about joint venture is I offered you an insight of a little bit different approach. I don't think you find many people that would create a program and break it apart the way we did. by making the duplicate copies basically for everyone involved. So that's one way you can look into doing it. One of the other things that you can do is, or what I would highly recommend, is if you're listening to this webinar right now and you're saying, well, gosh, there are some things I've thought about that I wouldn't mind going in, because either I'm too nervous to do it all by myself. I don't feel I have the credibility. So if you can joint venture with someone with a lot more credibility, obviously that's going to help you that much more. But what I would seriously suggest is the following here. One, if you're thinking about doing a joint venture, before you jump that direction, make yourself a plan. With your plan, try to visualize and then write it down. Who's going to do what? What are they doing? When are they doing it? How and why are they doing it? You want to make sure that you've kind of got an outline or a format in place to bring people in, and then what are they all going to contribute to this plan of yours, and then what are you going to contribute? Obviously, you have to decide if you're making a product, or maybe you're doing a joint venture for a contest or whatever. You have to decide if you're all, let's say we decided, a group of 5 of us decided to get together and we're going to promote, one of Matt's new live events coming out. And so we're going to joint venture together and we're all going to just hammer away at it. We would have to turn around and decide who is getting the leads, or how are we breaking down those leads. You want to be careful with co-reg. There are some that are done very successfully, and then there are some that kind of just water down the list. So you have to be very careful on how you do that. You want to limit the number of people that do that. And also you have to decide, because again, typically if you're going to promote a product or a ticket or something like that, then you have to decide where does the money go to. Because if you're going to do it on an affiliate basis, most likely, like Matt would have to use one affiliate link. So if you had 4 people, 5 people involved, and you use one affiliate link, you could sit back and say, okay, for every dollar earned on this particular promotion, we're just going to divide it equally. That's great. But the problem that may arise is, what happens to those people or those purchases or sales that occurred? If they go on to buy more things, then what happens? Is that still all being divided up, because it's harder to track? So those are things you have to think about and you have to put in your plan. If you are teaming together and collectively putting all the money into one basket and then dividing it up, you have to figure out what are your expenses, what are your taxes, and then again, like the situation we ran into, we had international people. So we weren't even sure at all how to handle that, because we all weren't based in the same area. You have to decide how you're going to break down the profits also, because as a business owner, you would know if you brought in $100,000, but then you're turning around and that's not all your money, you got to divide it out. You have to figure out how that's affecting your taxes, and then you're just creating a lot more paperwork involved to make everything work out properly. So you want to, again, think of these things. You want to put this stuff up front and start asking or start researching as to how you would handle this before you actually jump into the JV. Or you can do it our model, where you go in and everybody agrees that we create one thing and then we share it with everyone, and then we create our own tracking, we create our own sales funnels. In other words, it's a duplicate sales funnel, but all the profits go to each person individually. It goes to each one of our sales funnels and our own accounting, individually. So that actually can make it work really, really well. Once you have that, once you have kind of your plan in place, you have your partners, your joint venture partners on the line, you're you've already kind of made an idea of who's doing what, etc. Then what I would highly recommend is to create some sort of a legal document on that. If you are, obviously, if you're listening to this, you're most likely either a licensee, licensee titanium, licensee platinum, licensee diamond. You're in one of Matt's higher groups. But what you would remember is when you became a licensee, and I think when you became at least titanium and platinum, that Matt sends you out an agreement that you have to sign. It's a legal document. And so you can do the same thing. So once you have created your format, your plan, and you got all your players in place, and you figured out how you're handling the leads, the money, the percentage of work that everybody's doing, and so on. At this point in time, then before you actually kick it off, I would recommend that you create a legal document. And some of you are probably going, "Oh my gosh, get attorneys involved. That's expensive, and now maybe this isn't quite worth it." One of the things I can recommend, and this was something that actually was recommended to me. I'm going to show you a site that is called Rocket Lawyer. Some of you may have seen it before. It is really a good site, and I'm going to show it to you. I make nothing off of this. I just want to be able to pass on the information to you as to avenues that you can go. This right here is Rocket Lawyer. It is a site that was recommended to me. The neatest thing about it is, again, nothing is for free. But when it comes to legal advice or making a legal document, I would highly recommend something like this versus, unless you have a really good friend that's an attorney, corporate attorneys or business type attorneys can get really, really expensive. And obviously, if you're starting to deal with international stuff, who knows how expensive that can be. So one of the things I found was this Rocket Lawyer. The coolest thing about it, and I actually played with it the other day just to see what it was all about. I'm not a member of it, although they do have, this is kind of what their pricing breakdown is, which I thought actually, because I've paid for attorneys, I thought that was pretty reasonable. You can do a free membership. The neat thing about the disadvantage to the free membership is that you can create free letters and forms, but actually to get a document, you have to join one of their plans. And obviously they have a basic plan which does for documents, help from local attorneys, etc. It's based on a personal level, and then they have the pro legal plan, which is based professional and personal. Some of the documents that they will create for you is right here. They have business documents, and they have, scads of business documents here. They have personal documents and property and finance documents. They also have a help center if you're not really finding exactly what you want to have. The one thing that I was impressed with too is that once you, let's say you just want to incorporate. I'm not sure how well this would work outside of the United States, but if you wanted to incorporate, and we all know how expensive that can become, they have just step by step. You pick the state that you're in, you pick the type of corporation. Let's say we're going to do an LLC. You click start, and it then just breaks everything down. You start putting in your information, your company detail, options, reviews, and then you check out. They have a help center that that you can go and ask more questions for, and so on. But you can go through all of these steps, and I was pretty impressed with it. One of the documents I had looked at was a non-disclosure document, and I thought that was actually pretty interesting on how that worked. And speaking of non-disclosure documents, if you have been to some of the live events, some of them will actually make you sign a non-disclosure document before you go inside to the event, because some of the stuff that they usually share at these events they don't share elsewhere. And so it's something that that I would recommend you look at, especially if you're a person that you have a concept for a program or an application or something that you think would do really well in the market and as an item to sell or a program to sell. And let's say you decide, well, you know what, to get the credibility on this, I want to team up with someone a lot bigger than me in the internet marketing world. You want to make sure whoever you team up with, let's say it's something that you're getting done that's technical. You come up with a concept, but you don't know how to actually make it work. And if you just go and start sharing that concept with people, unfortunately, there are a few out there that will take your idea and tell you that yes, no, it may work, whatever. And what'll happen is they turn around and they now have taken your whole concept, your idea, any information that you've given them, and they turn around and all of a sudden a month later you see this product hit the market, and guess what? It was yours, but it's not any longer. And so by doing non-disclosure statements or agreements is, a savvy marketer that you're looking at joint venturing with, I don't see where they would have a problem by you saying I need to have a non-disclosure document signed so that if I give you all this information and I'm requesting your assistance or your partnership on this, that if it doesn't work and we don't go any further, I haven't now just given you my entire idea for you to turn around and do something with it. So I would highly recommend doing something like that. And you just, in this day and age, you just want to cover yourself. You sure don't want to be the person, outside looking in and looking in on your own product or your own idea. That would be miserable. So, at least start there and then move forward from there. I, again, highly recommend the joint ventures. I would, again, make your plan, get all your ducks in a row, or at least an outline of what you want to do before you turn around and actually do the joint venture. Try to answer those questions. If you have questions in regards to joint venture, don't ever hesitate to contact me. I'll be more than happy to try to answer your question or at least tell you where you can go to find out more answers. Cover yourself legally because especially if it's a big idea, you again, if you have something that could go really big, you don't want to be out on the outside. I always recommend a joint venture in some way, shape, or form. In fact, you guys have probably already done it and you just don't even know that you've done it. You've collaborated with other people for a common goal. You just never really considered it a joint venture. But I have a philosophy that, great minds think alike and multiple minds come up with really great things. And so, get out there, do them, protect yourself with it. If you have questions, don't ever hesitate to give me a personal message on Facebook. Look me up in one of Matt's groups. I'd be more than happy, or just post a question in one of the groups. I try to monitor them as best I can. There's a lot of groups with Matt, but you'll see my comments on there. And so, I'm going to kind of end it there, but I do want to point out I stole Matt's, or I borrowed Matt's Platinum Mastermind. I am a member of the Mastermind. And the one thing I kind of like, you talk about your credibility and so on, is I like being able to post that. I've been a member since June of 2012. And you can ask around. There's not many people in the Platinum Mastermind that can say they've been a member that long. A lot of people, I think, got into Platinum back in November when he first was doing the big push for it, and then to recent time. But I get the badge of honor of being able to say that I've been there since June. And also, again, I feel very honored that they asked me to give a presentation to the MOBE Elite Earners. I hope you guys got some content out of this. If you have questions, message me. And I sincerely apologize for the voice. I've done everything I can to keep the voice going throughout this whole webinar. So I hope you guys got something out of this, and keep watching those webinars. Go back, watch them again. The nice thing about it is they're all recorded. Some of them are re-recorded, but they're all recorded, and they're in the MOBE Elite Earners area. You have access to them all. Don't hesitate to re-listen to them, because you'll probably pick out more information that you didn't catch the first time. I've listened to some of them a couple of 3 times just to catch the information. And I know all the presenters that do this, that if you do have questions in regards to the webinar that they have done, don't hesitate to get a hold of them and ask them questions. So you guys have a great evening, and I will see you on Facebook. Talk to you later. Bye.